44 minutes past 7. We are discussing matters climate on the throwback edition of the Morning Fix today. And the conversation off air is just as important as the conversation on air sometimes. And we were just talking to Esther Mutuma, who is the CEO and founder of Boreka Group, about the work that's being done, also the initiatives being taken, and sometimes the mismatch between the declarations on paper and what we see
and
on the ground. Yes, and action.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming, Esther, and for having this convo with us. We were asking you about technology and how it can be used to mitigate climate change, especially and how it's used by a Boreka, and how we can use it to further our goals and maybe achieve this 45% reduction in carbon emissions by 2030.
Great. Thanks, guys, for having me again. And at Boreka, really, what we've done is try to think around restoration, because you cannot manage what you don't have.
True.
So there's protect, restore, manage, and the restoration is a big part for us.
Yeah.
And to restore, we need to, at scale, do it like really, really, really big. We need to plant millions and millions of trees to provide the carbon sinks that we need, the world needs to help mitigate our climate change. And so one of the things we've done as far as technology is concerned is adopt technology for data capture and information, because in these carbon conversations, you really have to have your data, and you have to have your data right. And if you don't have data, then you have nothing to monetize. So we bring on board farmers, and we onboard them, registering them on the Boreka app.
Yes.
And once we get that information, then we can also track, because at Boreka, we don't plant trees, we grow trees. There's a difference. When you're growing tree, you have to first of all plant it before you can actually grow it.
Okay. It's not just putting it in the
It's
ground
not
and then
putting it,
saying,
no,
I'm done.
absolutely not. You have to track, you have to follow, you have to showcase, because it's not until it forms canopy that it's actually being useful to the environment. That's when it starts sequestering the carbon of the atmosphere. So we use technology mostly to capture data on that angle to make sure that we are tracking where the trees were planted, how they are doing, and so we have proper records that we can use to now bring to market and monetize to incentivize the farmers. Remember, the goal is to make sure that the farmers have incentives, because why should I plant a tree? Farmers will ask you, do I eat climate? What is climate? They don't understand.
Yeah.
So, but when you show them that there's value for changing their own microclimates where they are, and they're actually getting a financial incentive out of it, it becomes a lot easier. So technology helps us to track the data and information around that, and also to do trainings, because then you can send bulk SMSs to say, hey, it's time to prune your trees, it's time to thin your trees, it's time to do this or do that. So training, which is a big component of getting this work properly done, is also delivered through use of technology.
I love what you're saying. And you're trying to reach out to 1 million farmers in an effort to just scale up. What are some of the challenges you're going through? Because sometimes it's rebellion from some of the ideas. Maybe it's county to county conversations that you have to build. What are some of the challenges you're going through? Are you going through right now in an effort to make sure that you scale up and reach out to 1 million farmers?
So the thing is, Aseli and Mariam, one thing you must realize is that the farmers have had such a rough time because of the droughts and floods and all the challenges that are brought about by climate change, that they are so willing to adopt whatever opportunities come their way to see change. So every time we talk to farmers, for instance, in Kitui, where we did the initial phase, we found that farmers were willing to do it. So the challenge for us has actually nothing to do with the farmers themselves, but a lot more to do with the financing for the scaling and also the water challenges, because the drylands especially already have a situation where they don't have enough water. So when you're trying to scale and aggregate the farmers to do more seedling production, they don't have the water to do it. So we've had to take it upon ourselves as Boreka to actually do the production, to create a center where the seedling production can happen. Because again, what do you plant when you don't have the seeds or the seedlings for? Challenges are the water type of issues, like there isn't enough water and you have to invest in water infrastructure to make sure that you're actually able to produce the seedlings, so that then you can give the seedlings to the farmers so that they can plant the seeds.
I mean, clearly the fact that there's goodwill from farmers is a good thing, and then the other things are things that can be worked out and the nitty-gritties can be figured out. I saw a headline that said women of course bear the brunt of the worst of climate change. We'll talk about gender and how it plays a role in climate mitigation. Also, how women are affected by climate change in just a little bit. We'll have a look at the traffic after listening to some JA and Sage with Doombala, of course, and come back into conversation with Esther Mutuma.